An update on the war between Israel and Hamas.
Plus, what was covered during the latest SGA meeting.
And new opportunities for creative writers.
This and more today on Mocs News. I'm Gabby Shelton.
And I'm Lillian Simcox. Thanks for joining us today. The Palestine's militant group Hamas conducted a surprise attack on Israel this past Saturday and killed 1,200 Israeli citizens while taking 150 hostages, including women and children. In retaliation, Israel has dropped 6,000 bombs on the Gaza Strip, an area smaller than Chattanooga. Airstrikes have killed at least 1,799 Palestinians. Israel has demanded for the million Palestinians residing in northern Gaza to move south despite the international community's warning of the humanitarian crisis. The U.S. and Israel ally condemned the initial attack and guaranteed to stand by Israel. On Thursday, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and reassured that the U.S. would defend Israel as long as America exists, according to the New York Times. Israel is now preparing for what could be a possible ground invasion in the Gaza Strip. We will keep you updated as the conflict progresses.
For the first time in American history, the House of Representatives has ousted Speaker of the House. California Representative Kevin McCarthy is no longer Speaker after a 216 to 210 vote. He has no plans to run again. The divided Republican Party elected Steve Scalise of Louisiana to be in the running. However, just last night, he dropped out. The divide within the GOP was seen with those who want Ohio's Jim Jordan as their Speaker instead. It is unclear whether Jordan can secure the nomination within his party and get the 217 majority votes on the floor. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party unanimously elected House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries of New York. The person second in line to the presidency will be determined once a candidate reaches the 218 majority lead. Until then, Speaker pro tempore Patrick McHenry will continue to hold the gavel.
Ever wanted to see how an SGA meeting worked?
Ever want to learn how you can help bring about real change on campus? Our Timothy McCurry has covered on both fronts. SGA hosted a general body meeting at the Raccoon Mountain Room that covered plenty of important topics from a wide variety of speakers. Special guest speaker, Chancellor Steve Engel, discussed renovations to Macaulay, along with potential additions to the campus, like a 3-story building for the nursing program.
He also mentioned a potential museum that acknowledges the storied past of Engel Stadium. He acknowledged that the construction of the museum could mean the teardown of one of the parking lots.
There were other announcements like recently funded events and some SGA members rising up in the ranks. SGA Vice President Brandon Stillwell thinks that the club is important for establishing a strong relationship between the student body and the faculty.
I think it's this great connector between the two so we can really get things done and really achieve things on campus. And so, yeah, we bring in a lot of awesome guest speakers, like I've said previously, to really cater to not only SGA but the student body. We also do a lot of things within our committees as well that pertain to different sectors of the student body to ensure that every part of the student body is heard and seen.
There will be a solar eclipse tomorrow that you might not want to miss.
Hopefully we'll have clear skies to see it. It'll start at 11:41 a.m. It will be strongest at 1:08 p.m. and will end at 2:40 p.m.
Now, let's head over to our Cassandra Castillo to hear the rest of our weather report. Cassandra?
It finally feels like fall is here, so be sure to bring out your cozy sweaters before stepping out these chilly mornings. Today, the weather will reach a high of 72 and a low of 61. This weekend, the highs will drop from mid-70s to high 50s. The sun won't fully shine until Wednesday, but until then, cloudy skies will keep temperatures in the mid-60s next week. If you have plans to travel back home to Memphis, Knoxville, and Johnson City, it'll reach high in the mid-70s while Nashville reaches its high at 65 degrees. This weather is ideal for pumpkin picking, so take advantage of this fall break. Lily and Gabby, back to you.
Thanks, Cassandra. This Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Blood Assurance threw on their best 70s attire and set for the University Center's Tennessee Room. Each semester, Blood Assurance comes up with various themes, and UTC's marketing and public health chooses the one that may encourage students to come out and save lives. They provide t-shirts, snacks, and drinks. Meanwhile, staff are readily available for questions or concerns. They ask questions beforehand in order to make sure you are eligible for donating 1 pint of blood. Blood Assurance staff spoke on what they collect.
Just in the 2 days that we're here, we'll generally get around 300 units of blood, and that goes right back into the local community and helps save people's lives. We're additionally here at Blood and Nuga collecting Alex units, or double red cells. So we'll collect 2 red cells, which really go a long way in saving lives. Or we're collecting platelets here at the center. And so one of the things platelets does, it helps burn patients or cancer patients. And so platelets have a very short shelf life, so you really need platelets every day.
Students who have donated 3 and 5 times tell us why they do it.
Not only because I know I'm helping someone, but also in a weird way it's like a challenge for myself. And so I think that's kind of why I do it.
I'm thankfully somebody that's not scared of needles or blood, so I just love to give blood. I love getting a free t-shirt and getting to save 3 lives. I think it's exciting. I always get really excited when it's time for me to give blood again.
I always get slightly nervous, right before, I get the shakes and I'm like, oh no, I wonder if they'll let me do it. But they always do, and they're always nice and comforting, and it's really not that big of a deal. It has never hurt before, and I'm always totally fine afterwards.
Students can donate blood to Blood Assurance right across the street on East 4th Street and Houston from 8 to 6. Walk-ins are welcome, or appointments could be booked at bloodassurance.org. The MLB playoffs are moving on to a new round.
And 5 new inductees were added to the UTC Hall of Fame. Let's hear what Frankie has to say on sports.
The MLB playoffs are in full swing as the league's championship series is about to begin. The Texas Rangers will take on their in-state rivals, the Houston Astros, starting Sunday night at 8:15 p.m., while the Arizona Diamondbacks will travel to take on the Philadelphia Phillies starting Monday night at 8:07 p.m. Both series are a best of 3 and will determine which 2 teams meet in the World Series. Last week, Mocs football suffered a devastating loss to the hands of WCU, losing 52-50. The Mocs jumped out to an early lead, but the defense ultimately could not stop WCU's offense on the ground, giving up 250 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. Transfer quarterback Chase Artopius, however, had a career day with 400 passing yards and 5 touchdowns. Artopius and the rest of the Mocs travel to take on Mercer tomorrow at 4 p.m. Mocs soccer held their home finale yesterday, defeating Wofford in a shutout victory 2-0. They are now 10-4-1 on the campaign and look to finish strong on the road as they travel to UNC Greensboro on Sunday and travel to Samford for their season finale on October 22nd. If they win out, they will tie the soccer record of 12 wins on a season, which was originally broken by the 2004 Lady Mocs soccer team. Mocs Tennis is currently hosting their branch of the ITA Ohio Valley Regional through Monday. On Thursday, we saw 4 Mocs singles teams advance to the round of 64, and all but 1 doubles team advance to the round of 32. More Ohio Valley Regional action is happening right now. We will update you next week on Mocs Tennis. The UTC Hall of Fame inducted 5 new members last Friday. Our new Hall of Fame inductees include softball legend and current softball head coach Michelle LaCourse and Frank Reed, 3-time Golf Player of the Year Stephen Yeager, and an inaugural Mocs wrestler in Bobby Orand, and possibly the best women's tennis player UTC has ever seen with Anastasia Zhukova. Congratulations to all those inducted and all those who won awards. That's all for sports. Lillian and Gabby, back to you.
Thanks, Frankie. Well, who doesn't love the sounds of music? On October 10th, the UTC Fine Arts Center held a wind ensemble concert which had music playing in the Roland Hayes Auditorium. The concert featured instruments such as clarinets, trumpets, tubas, percussion, and more.
Are you looking to stretch those creative muscles or wanting to become a creative writer or even a published author? Then Sequoia Review has the deal for you. UTC's literary magazine is accepting submissions for fiction stories, nonfiction stories, and poetry for the upcoming spring 2024 magazine. You can find the submissions guidelines and other info on their Instagram at Sequoia_review. Once your work is ready, send it to submit2sr@gmail.com by the submission deadline on November 1st. Don't miss your chance to take the first big step into becoming an author. If you have more questions, please send inquiries to Karen-Bain@utc.edu or YDY254@mocs.utc.edu. That does it for this edition of Mocs News. Thanks for joining us.
Don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram at Mocs News UTC. We'll be here for you next Friday as we go. Here's a look back on the homecoming week.